It's Wednesday the 30th, and I have to watch my voice tone because otherwise Karen will make fun of me because I'm talking like Darwin. So we're 30 miles from Benchmark Wilderness Ranch, the more of which we read about, the less we're glad we sent boxes, because apparently people rifled through the boxes and they're not supervised properly, and the guy there is a jerk apparently. It's going to be fun. Anyhow, we've started meeting southbound hikers, a gaggle of which, or I guess an agglutination of which, came into camp yesterday after we'd set up our tent. There were about 7 of them, including one very, very strange gentleman who talked about how bears were mostly just fur and you didn't really need to worry about them much or something. Anyhow, they all started alone and have ended up in this big group, which isn't our style at all. But they looked like they were having a great time. So I think we're through with all the really bad climbing. Over the last 2 days, we've just climbed and climbed and climbed. So it looks like it is going to be better in that regard. We've got a couple of river crossings coming up this morning, so stay tuned for those. Good place to meet a bear in this forest. Just walked through a bunch of undergrowth that would have been a great place for a bear to hike. Still, we're not seeing bear sign down here lower, so just horse sign, and I think it's used more heavily and it's probably less likely to contain bears, but you never know. It's beautiful. We're following a set of switchbacks down to the Dearborn River, and it's suddenly turned very lush down here at a lower elevation. Good. All right. The Dearborn River, we've been worried about it, and for good reason. It's deep for Karen, so nice job. I'm gonna get your pack. Be easier to get up here. What did you think about the crossing?
I thought it was doable. Obviously, it was doable. We've finished it. I was intimidated going across it and was a little shaky, but it worked out.
You were solid. I can see why. But you took a better line than I did. I got into deeper water.
Yeah, I looked for the bigger rocks, which in some ways is not smart. But
well, because they were so slick.
No, I didn't get on any slick ones. But the water. Everybody we've talked to said the water wasn't swift. The water was swift. It was swift.
Yeah, that was not correct.
Yeah.
Well, it was doable. That's.
It's done. That's the main thing. But now in 6 miles we have to go back.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be as bad, but we'll have to worry about it for a few hours.
Yeah.
We've descended about 3,000 feet in the last 12 hours or so of hiking, and the nature of the trail has changed completely. We're now just over 5,000 feet, whereas for the last few days we've been at 7,500 to 8,000. Quite a difference. We're going to start seeing a lot of this. It's a welcome sight. Here we are back at the Dearborn, and it's a smaller river here, so we won't have as much trouble probably crossing this time. right. Hopefully we'll be through this burn area pretty soon. We've come down off the top of that ridge up there, down into another burn area. But there's hope. I think as we get into some water sources down here, there's trees, so we may walk our way out of this. We did 15 miles today with 2 pretty good sized river crossings. One probably I'd rate as moderate, a little bit above my knees. It's probably a little more than moderate for Karen. And then that was the Dearborn, the first crossing, and then we crossed it again in 6 miles, and it is hard. So a lot of downhill today with some uphill mixed in here right at the end of the day. But we've tried to get out of the dead trees, but not entirely successfully. I don't think there's anything leaning in our direction that'll hit us if it falls, but hopefully not. Hard to find a place to hang the bear bag. I've got a line down there in the trees that's only about 3 feet out from the trunk, and I'm not even sure it'll hold the bags, but best I could do. So the sun's still pretty high in the sky, and it's probably 8 o'clock. It's one really good thing about it here. So have a good evening, or we will, and see you tomorrow.